Hello, welcome to the University of Oulu pop-up studio. The theme of this session is why I chose Oulu. I have two guests here with me, Mehdi Bennis, originally from Morocco, Casablanca, and Katherine Mimnaugh from Chicago, USA. Both are researchers at the University of Oulu. And actually, university staff covers nearly 100 nationalities. Today we talk about you too and how you have settled to Oulu. And for audience, you can send the questions to the chat address, which is here in below. For me, the choice was easy because this is my hometown. I was born here, but you volunteered, you came and you stayed. So what was the first confluence to the city of Oulu? Mehdi, you can start.
All right, so I can start. Thank you. So I came to Oulu back in November 2014, if I still remember, so a long time ago. The reason I came to Oulu was to pursue my PhD in electrical engineering. At that time, I was actually living in France, south of France, Nice. And I still remember the day I went to the embassy to get my visa. The people, they were a bit surprised. Why are you going from Nice, sunny place, to Oulu, cold place? I said, no, I want to go there. I want to pursue my PhD. So that's basically the reason I came here, and I've remained here ever since.
Nice. Yeah, I also came here for my PhD. So I did my bachelor's and master's in just 200 kilometers south of Chicago at the University of Illinois. And one of the professors that I had at the University of Illinois, Steve Lavelle, I had taken his research class about virtual reality. And so he ended up moving here. And after he moved here, he contacted me and was like, hey, there's a position. Are you interested in doing a PhD in Oulu? And I was like, well, I don't really know anything about Oulu, but I'll come and check it out. And once I saw how beautiful it was here, I knew this was a place for me. So.
Okay, so you didn't know much about, or at all. Did you have any kind of expectations and how the reality have met those?
Well, what I knew about Finland was that it was cold and dark. And yes, that is true. But the other thing that people don't really tell you is how beautiful the summers here are. Like on the other side of winter, like you have these long days, there's like very little darkness, and it's like the sky is so blue during the summer. All the pictures I take are just like so beautiful, they look like they've been photoshopped. And so it really just like blew my mind. So yes, it can be cold and dark, but that's only like part of the year. And on the other end, like summer just makes it so worth it.
So is it like that if you want to live an American dream, in a Photoshop reality, come to Oulu?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice punchline. We can continue from that later. But what about Mehdi, your expectations?
My first experience was a bit difficult, I have to say, because I came during, again, a dark November. And yeah, I still remember, I think I came on a Saturday I got the keys of my apartment from the landlord at 10 to 6. Saturday, and the lady told me, you have 10 minutes to go do some shopping. So I was like, oh, 10 minutes, how can I get, I need some food for Monday. So, but I think, of course, I learned over, the next spring, right? I said, okay, it's only 1 month, maybe November, December, where the weather is cold. It's a bit dark for somebody coming from North Africa. But you get used to it very fast, actually. And now after 15, 16 years, I don't even think about weather anymore. Actually, I enjoy it, So I became really, you can call it a local in that respect, yeah.
Yeah, I was really, I moved here in January. And so that was just sort of a shock to the system a little bit. But after a year, you really get used to it pretty fast. And it's easy to settle in.
You mentioned already a little bit about your background, but back to Mehdi, to people know you both better, tell briefly about your background and your life journey so far from Casablanca to Nice and then to Oulu.
All right, so I can go back to 1996. That's when I got my my baccalaureate. After that, I went to Switzerland, actually, to Lausanne, to pursue my undergrad studies. And I spent there 4 years, and then went to south of France, in Nice, because it was a joint master program. Back in 2001, I went to the U.S., to beautiful city of Boulder, Colorado. I spent 1 year there, did my master thesis. Was an amazing time. And then came back to France, graduated, worked for 1 year in a company. And then I don't know what happened to me. I guess I was leaning towards doing a PhD. And then how did I don't know how I try to remember how did I think about applying to Center for Wireless Communication, where I'm still until today. I think there was an open position back then. Applied for it, was accepted, and then came here. And of course I came here again, as I said, pursued my PhD. And fast forward until today, I'm an associate professor there, have my group, doing I hope, great job overall. And yeah, just got used to here. Met my wife here, by the way. I think that's more important to note. My daughter was born here 4 years ago. Bought a house here, settled here. I think I'm more Oulu, Oululainen than many Finns here, actually. So very happy to be here. Very happy.
Yeah. What about you, Katherine?
So I am from Chicago, but really it's the suburbs of Chicago, the Chicagoland area. So I grew up about 50 kilometers from the city, but it's still sort of in the Chicago area. And I did my bachelor's at the University of Illinois, like I said, like 200 kilometers south of Chicago, because it was nice to be like close to my family and go back and be able to visit. So I studied psychology. Well, I started out in computer science. But I switched to psychology, and then after I graduated, I worked in some research labs for about 10 years at the University of Illinois, so doing cognitive neuroscience research. And then I got really involved in environmental activism on my campus, and internationally I went to Conference of the Parties, and so I decided to do a master's in environmental science, and I was taking a class there, the virtual reality class, and just really fell in love with the possibilities of what you can do with virtual reality. So after I finished my master's, I actually posted on Twitter that I was looking for a position right before I graduated. And so one of my followers, who is now a really good friend, sent me a message, and she's like, I heard you're looking for places, how about the Netherlands? And I was like, sure. So I applied to a PhD position, and I moved there first. And a little bit after I was there about 3 months, and then Steve contacted me about the position here, and so I came to visit and just really fell in love. And now I'm working on my PhD, and I really, really like it in Oulu in Finland.
How does Oulu differ from your homeland and from the area that you're born?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that comes to mind immediately is just sort of the extremes. We also have super cold winters and super hot and humid summers. But the darkness is like a little bit different, and the brightness in the summer. I love how peaceful it is here. Like the silence and the quiet, and just living in the forest is one of my favorite parts about being here. Like, I live in Kajonharju, but I'm planning to move to Sunima, and it's just to walk through this deep forest and just have that be my commute every day is just really amazing. So that's not something that would be easy to do really anywhere else. There was a forest at the campus I was at in the Netherlands, but it wasn't like my way to work every day. So yeah, in that sense, it's quite different.
Casablanca is slightly different than Oulu.
Yeah.
It's 5 million inhabitants, quite warm, by the sea. So I mean, food is great, but of course, as every big city, you have other, bad things that may happen, pollution sometimes. It's just the quality of life. I think Oulu actually, for me, yeah, it perhaps has the highest quality of life. And it's a place, actually, that's why I think kudos to Steve, is if I want to, so one of my hiring strategies nowadays is to invite somebody to visit me for a research visit. I'm pretty sure he will come back. Well, I have two similar cases now, from Korea, from Japan. They visited me 2 years ago, and now they say, is there a postdoc position in your group? I said, tervetuloa. So it's because otherwise you cannot imagine what Oulu is like. When you check the map, forget about it. I mean, it's just, no, sorry.
Yeah, okay, it's like that you have to feel it
Exactly.
yourself.
It's a really smart strategy. I
Yes.
mean, I loved my program in the Netherlands. I had amazing coworkers. My advisor and my co-advisor were there, and I was so happy. I really, when Steve told me about the position, I had already decided that I was going to say no. But he was like, just come see. And I was like, okay, just to be polite, I'll come see. And then I just, it was so beautiful. I just really fell in love. So I think that's like the way to do it.
Okay, now you have spoken about the environment and nature and this kind of premises and your work. What about the local people? Is it easy to get along with people here?
Yeah, so I've heard this stereotype that it's hard to make friends with Finns, but that really, it hasn't been my experience exactly. Like, I think if you were to just walk up to somebody on the street and just try and start a conversation, like, they might look at you like, okay, like, yeah, I don't know. But all of my coworkers and other people that I've met, once you like meet people, everyone has been so friendly and so nice. And yeah, just not like the stereotype that I heard, but it takes getting over that like initial sort of meeting phase. But I feel like once you meet people, they're so nice.
What about Mehdi? Is there some stereotypes that you would like to mention? You've been here longer, but
I think that it's an interesting topic. I think the bottom line is, for Finns, it takes time to establish friendship. But when it's established, it's for real. I contrast that with other countries, not to pick on Americans. It's the opposite. How you doing? Well, but actually he doesn't care, maybe. But in Finnish mentality is different, right? It's real friendship, and I have many friends of mine, actually Finns, that I can count on them anytime. And likewise, of course. Well, of course, other black sheeps exist everywhere. So, yeah, but you just need to know how to deal with that. But overall, my experience, I think, has been great. I have to say, it's because mainly I'm living towards near the university. And we've been also living in a bubble, in the sense that you're exposed to your colleagues. I don't know what it's like to be living somewhere else. I think it may be different. Yeah.
might be. Maybe you'll try someday.
I should try, maybe.
Yeah, you both work at the university, as mentioned. And do you have any free time? Because I know that you have passion on science and such. And if you do, so what do you do then?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually my first summer here, I happened to go to this blues festival that they have here, and it was just such an amazing experience because when I went to it in Karjasilta, I just got this like amazing feeling of nostalgia, and I found out afterwards that it was started by somebody that lived in Chicago and liked the blues festivals that we have, and so they started a blues festival here, and it was just like home. It was so nice. But I happened to meet this amazing blues musician at the festival, and he's been so nice to give me guitar lessons. So I had to come all the way to Finland to learn the blues, but now I've been learning the blues, and it's a lot of fun. It's a little slow going because I'm left-handed and I'm learning right-handed, but still it's been so much fun.
Yeah, I'm a big sports fan, so growing up, I grew up playing tennis at a high level in Morocco. Then, of course, football. When I came to Finland, actually, we composed a futsal team at the Center for Wireless Communication. And it turns out, actually, we tried, let's play some tournaments here. Actually, we won a couple here in Oulu. After that, I got old, some people left, so I pretty much gave up. Otherwise, yeah, I used to, maybe go to the gym quite often, but now, again, maybe let's blame it on age and work. I like skiing very much. I like cross-country skiing, although, this year, I still have to I have yet to put my skis on, even though the ski tracks are near my home. But yeah, I'm a big sports fan, for sure. Ice hockey, a little bit less. It takes me time.
Yeah.
It takes me time to...
I don't play, but I really like the Karpat.
The Karpat,
So, yeah, it's so nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good to mention. So yeah,
Good
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Well, it's like the Blackhawks. It's fun to go see games like that. So.
Yeah. What do you dream of? You mentioned, Mehdi, that you are a sportsman and done cross-country skiing and stuff. Perhaps ice swimming, or are there are there any other these kind of northern achievements that you would like to unlock?
Gold medal in something.
Achievements.
No, actually, so yeah, speaking of Avanto, right? You know Avanto, ice swimming, right? I tried it, I think, once or twice. Great experience, amazing experience. I'd like to try it again, but yeah, that's something I have to start doing for longevity. Apparently, it's very good for that. But no, other than that, just, I don't know, I don't have any achievement to mention. I mean, skiing and you know, biking, nothing I can, you know.
You've done everything.
I don't know, yeah, you can maybe say that. But,
Yeah, I really dream of becoming fluent in Finnish. I would like to apply for citizenship. So I dream of being a Finn someday. And just like learning more about like customs and stuff. Like I would love to learn how to bake pulla and make other sorts of like local foods that are really delicious and different. And reindeer too. I have no idea how to cook with it, but it tastes good. So.
Okay, nice to hear that you do cross-country skiing and you have tried Avanto and Pulla is mentioned. So we are really really
immersion.
Yeah.
Full immersion.
Yeah. To move forward, later we have a session about the brand of Oulu, and the city is actually rebranding the slogan that we now have, this capital of Northern Scandinavia. And actually we also have a clothing selection called capital of Western Siberia, but we don't go into that now. But are there any suggestions from your that what could or should be our next slogan and the core message of Oulu? Maybe Katherine can start.
So it's kind of corny, but what popped into my head is like something like, come for the forest, but stay for the fun. Because those are two of the things I really enjoy here, like Air Guitar Festival, the Blues Festival. There's so many fun things to do in Oulu. So.
Good.
Hard one. I don't know. For me, slogan. I mean, for me, so what was the previous slogan was capital of Northern Scandinavia, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, Oulu, to me, it means you know, a techie city, right? With access to nature, anytime. Quality of life is super high, very easy to commute. You know, this is how I would be again attracting, you know, or headhunting for people to come, you know, to Oulu. But I'll let you decide for the exact acronym.
Maybe the work group will find those useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can they use that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead if you like it.
Yeah. How international Oulu is from your perspective?
Okay, I can start because I've been here long enough. So when I came here, actually, you would be surprised. I mean, there were few foreigners, but not many. Now, if I fast forward 2021, it has changed dramatically. So, of course, you can go to the university, the place where I work, Center for Wireless Communication. I think it's 60% foreigners, which is huge. And then, of course, if you look at the grocery stores, Prisma, it was very hard to find international food or items. Nowadays, you have a huge collection of anything you want to buy. So that testifies to the fact that I mean, Oulu has become very, very international, and hopefully it will continue to be so.
Yeah, I've very much had the experience of meeting so many people from around the world. I mean, it was something that I liked about the University of Illinois. Was when I got there, when I would get on the bus and I would hear people talking but not in English. I enjoyed that, and so I always knew that after I studied abroad that I wanted to live in other places and experience, to learn from other people and different life experiences and things. And yeah, I have friends from all over the world here, and at the university too. It's very international, and like you said, easy to find stuff at the stores. And yeah, sometimes I see American junk food, and I'm like, yeah. So it's nice that there's really the chance to meet so many different people at the university. I think it's a very friendly place for that, and in Finland in general.
Yeah, and thanks for choosing Oulu, because you are, of course, part of the international city of Oulu. One more time, why should everyone choose Oulu?
Well, okay, I can maybe start. Why choose Oulu? I mean, if you plan for your future or your life or your family life, professional life, Oulu offers you many things. So it offers you, of course, free education. It offers you again the possibility to enjoy nature. Some countries have a problem even to breathe clean air, not to mention which countries. But Oulu is a rare mix. I mean, of having all these kind of ingredients. Okay, even myself, I think all foreigners at some point in their life living in Oulu think about moving to Helsinki. Okay, happened to me too. But when you put everything into account, Oulu is very hard to beat. So yeah, this is what I can say.
Yeah, I second that. There's so many like tech opportunities and so many exciting people here and things to do and job opportunities and things like that. That's what I really like about Oulu. And yeah, I agree. It's also, there's this wondering, like at least coming from Chicago, like Oulu felt a little bit smaller. And so I was like, oh, maybe Helsinki would be better. But yeah, it's the same, that it's like, it's so, I mean, I don't know if I would have the opportunity to just like live in this like deep forest and go through that forest every day. I have cats and I take them outside like on walks, and they love it too here. But yeah, there's something really special about Oulu and the opportunities, and you have lakes and rivers and the ocean. There's, if you like swimming, there's all sorts of stuff to do. But yeah, it's just a very special place.
And in fact, going back to the slogan, we all talk about smart cities. Oulu is the smartest city, if you really think about it, right? I mean, it's, again, maybe that's a slogan we should adopt.
Yeah, that's good slogan, and it's also reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not just branding, like some other cities.
This one goes to Mehdi. There is an election ongoing about the Citizen of the Year 2021 of Oulu, and you are one of the candidates. Why should people vote you?
So that was one of the strangest things that happened also in 2020, me being nominated for Citizen of the Year. So why vote for me? Well, I mean, what I think I represent actually is maybe a success story of somebody coming from abroad, okay, maybe from Africa, Asia, America. And if you work hard, you can actually make it in the sense of, building your career, of course, establishing your family. So I want to serve that purpose. I want really people to relate to me in that sense and hopefully vote for me so that we can have a saying, in how to make Oulu even a better place.
Okay, let's hope for votes.
And please vote, because I think the vote is ending this week, if I believe.
A couple of days still left, I think. So
yes,
I've already did my part.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mehdi is already a Finnish citizen, and Katherine, you have said that when we met first time, it was actually one of the first things that you mentioned, that you want your goal, your dream, you want to become a Finn. What is your next step becoming a Finn?
Well, so I'm in Finnish classes right now. I think that's the biggest thing. So you have 5 years that you have to live here, and that's easy. My PhD is 4 years, and hopefully I can find some position after that. Finnish is an interesting language. I like it because it's really a challenge. But it's been 2 years that I've been studying it, and I can only say like a couple of words, so that's a little different from other languages that I've learned. But yeah, I think just sticking in there. I've been listening to like the radio a lot and trying to have more conversations and practice and sort of immerse myself in it. So I think that's sort of the next step. just get that Finnish.
Okay, we will challenge your Finnish skills
Oh boy.
soon. But at this point, we have probably the best time to ask from my colleague Anna-Maria that before the final questions, that do we have any questions from the audience?
Yes, Ville. We have a few questions from the audience. Thank you for those. Let's pick up a few. What could the city of Oulu do so that our region would appear more attractive for foreigners?
Yeah, this is a very important question. I also try to do that myself because I'm always hiring, and I want to hire talented people coming from abroad. I think one of the strategies I mentioned before is this possibility to invite them for a research visit. I think this is actually one of the best strategies. Otherwise, I don't know. Of course, in Oulu, it's again tech city, mini Silicon Valley. Of course, Nokia is already doing a big job, in terms of attracting talents and so on. But we need many more, right? We need many more talents to come to Oulu. So I'm doing my share, and I hope I can contribute to that.
Yeah.
You want to proceed?
Yeah, I think being able to visit, and there are some things about Oulu, like the work-life balance, and maybe it's a small thing, but for me, like the healthcare here, and the fact that I can walk down the street and feel safe anywhere that I am in Finland. So having some way to sort of give people a sense of how much peace of mind you can have when you live here. I think that's why it took to come here. I couldn't have imagined what it would be like to not worry about my health, or to not worry about paying attention to where my purse is and stuff when I'm walking in a city, or if I leave my backpack somewhere, things like that. And so it's really just being here that we've gotten to see that. And also I tell all my friends, this place is amazing. I've already recruited some more Americans to come here. So yeah, I think word of mouth is the best that we can do.
Yeah. American talent invasion approaching. Anna-Maria, anything else we have from the audience?
Yes, very interesting questions. Oulu girl is asking, how have you experienced the city of Oulu services for newcomers?
I'm not a newcomer anymore.
Yeah. So I know that there's Ville Victor and that they offer lots of really great services, and I've heard so much good stuff about it. But personally, I haven't used very much of it yet because I had a good support system when I moved here. So because I knew Steve and my co-advisor, Anna, I already had sort of a little bit of family here. And so that was easy for me. It made it easier because I could ask them, where's the store, or how do I get this, or what to do. But if I didn't have that support system already in place, then I think that's where things like Ville Victor are just so helpful, because you get here and you don't speak the language and everything is so different. You don't know what stores to go to, or how to dress correctly. Once you have the right clothes, the cold is no problem. But it takes someone has to educate you about how to dress correctly. So I know that there are some services. But yeah, like I said, I haven't really had to use them myself.
Yeah, simple things, that how to dress and how to make pulla.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Then the rest will appear.
Yeah.
One more from the audience.
Okay, let's take the last one. I am curious to know more about your research.
Okay.
This
so
was staged.
But people,
No,
of course, are, because now we have heard your story and
yes.
how you have settled here and where have you come. So maybe Mehdi, you can start. You are a 6G researcher, and you do this wireless connectivity stuff. So what does it mean, and how does it affect to our life? Because you kind of live 10 years ahead of us. So maybe you can tell us something about the future.
So where to start? So I'm part of the 6 Genesis flagship program led by the University of Oulu. My research, of course, is on 6G, but I mean, what is 6G compared to 5G? So 5G basically, when it came, was to help a number of verticals. Let's say factories, manufacturing, retailers, I don't know, healthcare, perhaps, yeah. But the human was never actually in the loop. Okay. Now 6G wants to address that. So the 6G vision, in fact, is digital world plus physical world plus biological world. Yeah. So essentially, how to, I mean, as the name suggests, perhaps, is how to, improve our health. How to, use technology to help predict, brain seizure, maybe some biomarker that will tell you you have high inflammation. Act upon it using, of course, your smartphone and your Aura ring. I think this is actually, to me personally, because I've looked at many verticals, yeah. Healthcare is actually the most important one, and I think that's the vertical where Oulu must invest even more. This is why we have this 6G healthcare program going on actually nowadays. So to me, that's the most important one, because I mean, it's all about longevity, right? It's all about improving our lives. So I do hope 6G will contribute to that. And in fact, 6G also is touching on her research, because 6G starts to touch on many disciplines. So wireless connectivity, in fact, is maybe not the most important one. You have to talk about neuroscience, psychology, again, healthcare. It becomes a very multidisciplinary. That's why it's actually the most exciting time nowadays, right? Of course, AI, of course. It becomes quickly multidisciplinary, and that's why at the University of Oulu we have the chance to team up with other professors like Steve Laval and others, also Simo Sarakala at the other campus. So yeah, that's what 6G promised to do. I hope we will do it in 10 years. Of course, it's a long road, but I cannot wait to be there. Yeah, at some point, yeah.
And Katherine, you work in this UBComp research unit, and you have this perception engineering lab, and you work with robotics and virtual reality. Hard words to even pronounce, more harder to understand, but maybe you can wrap up about your research. What do you do, and how does that affect to everyday life of us?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I'm a member of the Perception Engineering Group at the Center for Ubiquitous Computing, and I feel so fortunate to be a PhD student there, because I work with roboticists and engineers and mathematicians and other neuroscientists, and we have a very interdisciplinary group. And my research is really the confluence of many different things that I've been interested in previously. So I study human perception in virtual reality and how people react to this technology. And specifically, I'm interested in how to make these experiences more comfortable for people. And one of the applications that we've been working on lately is virtual robotic telepresence. So if you have, let's say, like a search and rescue robot that's going in somewhere and it has a 360 camera on it, then people might be using a VR headset to get some better situational awareness. And so we're studying how to make that interaction more comfortable, how the robot can move more comfortably. But in order to have good live streaming from robots, that's where 6G and stuff comes in. That's super helpful. So yeah, there's all sorts of different sort of pieces that I've been able to work on since here. But the sort of underlying piece is just how humans interact with virtual reality. And personally, I'm really driven by the potential that there is for virtual reality, specifically for healthcare and mental health, to just give people the chance to put on a headset and be in another place, and to be able to sort of leave behind their anxieties and worries and things like that. It's just so amazing, the things that we'll be able to do as this technology develops. And it can also be used for something that I'm really passionate about empathy. So before I moved here, I made a student film back at the University of Illinois that was about homelessness. And it's sort of the story of how this person ends up being homeless. And when you watch it in the headset, you're sort of in that character's body, and the story is sort of happening to you. And the point was to try and give people, to break through some stereotypes that there might be and help people just sort of build empathy that way. And so I know the United Nations has used VR for empathy, and that's another great thing that I hope if we can make this technology comfortable, and if the perception engineering, so really understanding how we can engineer an illusion that's comfortable and enjoyable and acceptable to people, that we can unlock some of these like societal benefits with virtual reality in the future. So.
In fact, maybe I can just weigh on this. So actually one of the secret projects that Nokia Bell Labs was working on back a few years ago was this empathic communication. Essentially to communicate senses, touch, tactile, taste perhaps. But this remains really the ultimate goal, because audio, video is done, VR to some extent, but can you go beyond that? Can you communicate, feeling and maybe theory of mind or some other, modalities? That will be the, maybe the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting and important. And if people would like to know more, they can check the university website and your research profiles from there. Now it's time for the final question, and I kindly ask you to answer to it in Finnish. Hopefully that suits you, because we of course want to hear how is your Finnish language at the moment.
Is
And
it
maybe
okay to answer a different question?
And maybe Mehdi can start, because you have been here longer. So what are the 3 best things for you in Oulu? So mitkä ovat 3 parasta asiaa sinulle Oulussa?
3 paras asiat mulle ovat elämä Oulussa. Mutta joo.
Sekin on ihan hyvä. Ei tarvitse sanoa 3. Elämä kattaa
Joo,
aika hyvin kaiken.
Olen mielessä. En muista.
Okay.
It doesn't come to mind, but I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
3 parasta asiaa Oulussa ovat metsiä, ihmiset ja revontuja. Revontule.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Se on totta, yeah.
So nature, people and Northern Lights.
Yeah.
And life
Life.
as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't prepare this question, so
Yeah.
I studied ahead of time, so
Yeah.
I should have.
yeah. Shout out to my Finnish friends that helped me with that.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your story and your thoughts, Mehdi and Katherine. And dear audience, thanks for joining, and stay tuned. We have more to come, and you will find the upcoming program from the website. And also there is additional information about the pop-up studio program.